Search and rescue efforts continue in quake-hit Myanmar as the 72-hour golden rescue window ends. Minor shocks are felt in neighbouring Thailand this morning, prompting residents to evacuate from multiple high-rise buildings. And in Hong Kong, a co-location checkpoint will be established in Shenzhen for the planned Hong Kong-Shenzhen Western Rail Link, with the location yet to be decided. Good evening. You are watching Cable News. I'm Evelyn Bai. As rescue efforts continue in Myanmar after the 72-hour window to find survivors ended, the death toll from the devastating earthquake in the Southeast Asian country has climbed past 2,000, including 3 Chinese citizens. About 4,000 people have been injured and 270 are missing. Myanmar junta declared a week of national mourning. Anna Chen tells us more.
In the hard-hit city of Mandalay, China's search and rescue team had pulled out several survivors from the rubble, including a pregnant woman and a child, since late Sunday. The pregnant survivor has been trapped for over 65 hours after a 7.7 magnitude earthquake struck the country last Friday. As rescuers continue to race against time, there are still not enough teams to find bodies or sufficient equipment to sift through the debris. Further adding to this challenge, internet and phone connection outages, broken roads, as well as a shortage of food, water and medicines may worsen the humanitarian crisis in war-torn Myanmar. China, India and Thailand are among Myanmar's neighbors that have sent relief materials and teams, along with aid and personnel from Malaysia, Singapore and Russia. The World Health Organization made a flash appeal for $8 million of aid. The devastation has piled more misery on Myanmar amid civil war. One rebel group said Myanmar's ruling military was still conducting airstrikes on villages in the aftermath of the quake. In military-controlled areas, local people said some rescue workers did not dare to give help because they were afraid of being arrested. Anna Chen, Cable News.
In neighbouring Bangkok, rescue efforts are also underway at the collapsed skyscraper, with hopes of finding survivors. So far, 13 people are confirmed to have died and over 70 are still unaccounted for at the site. Elsewhere in the Thai capital, multiple buildings were evacuated this morning over possible aftershocks. Anna Chen again has the story.
As a minor aftershock occurred this morning, people were rushing out to the street at the Park Origin Thong Long. Witness said the high-rise condominium was swaying, sparking panic.
We were at home and we were starting eating and everything was shaking, and then we got up and go down.
Any water spilling on the hallway, and then inside have so many cracks. I think cannot live there.
After the quake on Friday, the sky bridge connecting 3 buildings of the complex had already broken apart. Residents were temporarily not allowed to go back to their homes for safety reasons, and hotel rooms were arranged for them. Fortunately, the minor aftershock did not hinder the rescue operation at the collapsed high-rise near Chatuchak Market. A vital sign was once detected in the wreckage today, but it was unsure if the signal indicated a survivor. The discovery curtailed a visit to the site by Prime Minister Thong. Rescuers were still desperately searching under the rubble of the unfinished 30-story tower for Thailand's State Audit Office. As the government is investigating the cause of the collapse, an anti-corruption watchdog said it had flagged irregularities regarding the construction of the tower, which was being built by a Chinese company and Thai construction firm. The government had threatened to cancel the project earlier this year because of delays. In addition, Thai Industry Minister Ekanath Prompai said he was concerned that substandard steel may have been used as he led the team collecting samples from the rubble yesterday. Anna Chen, Cable News.
Despite the minor shocks this morning, Bangkok has largely resumed daily operations. Local government downgraded its disaster response level from major to moderate today, and our crew is currently in Thailand witnessing the restoration. Quentin Yang tells us more.
Bustling activities resumed in Bangkok's Siloam business district, with shops and street vendors reopening. Key transport systems, including the BTS SkyTrain, MRT Yellow Line and Pink Line, restored full service by this morning. At the BTS Cheongnam-sing station, commuters packed platforms during rush hour.
Everything's normal. As BTS is, operating as normal. Road and the traffic jam is as always, and I think everything is back. Every staff, if you want to work from home, fine, you can choose. Because I'm kind of a manager, so if some of our staff wants to come to the office, I have to manage. So that's why I came here.
Despite official assurances of structural safety checks at office buildings, lingering concerns persist.
That the government said that it's okay, or I don't know, because it is our first time in Thailand.
Will you be feeling safe to work inside the building?
Not really, but if they said it's okay, the engineer already checked and they allow us to go back to the office, I think it's okay now.
Meanwhile, the tourism sector showed signs of rebound despite some cancellations. The Erawan Shrine, a major Bangkok landmark, continues to draw crowds of prayers. This tourist from Taiwan said the streets are as lively as ever, and there's no sign of panic. However, some Hong Kong-based travel agencies reportedly canceled all April group tours to Thailand as a precaution. Kun Ting-ya, Cable News.
Back in Hong Kong, the government has announced a pivotal step in advancing the cross-border Hong Kong-Shenzhen Western Rail Link, revealing that a co-location checkpoint will be established on the Shenzhen side to streamline customs clearance, with the targeted operational date of 2035. Kun Ting-yang reports.
Speaking at a Legislative Council panel meeting, Secretary for Transport and Logistics Mabel Chen said that the arrangement allowing joint immigration clearance aims to streamline cross-border travel. The 18.1-kilometer underground rail line will connect Hong Kong's Hung Shui Kiu to Shenzhen's Qinghai, cutting travel time between the two hubs to just 15 minutes. It will feature 5 stations, with 3 in Hong Kong and 2 in Shenzhen. While lawmaker Edward Lau advocated dual checkpoints at Shenzhen Bay and Qinghai to maximize convenience and cost-effectiveness, authorities are leaning towards a single checkpoint in Shenzhen with a focus on seamless transport integration. To expedite the project, Hong Kong and Shenzhen have agreed on a synchronized construction, unified operation model. The government is exploring a bundled contract for design, construction, and operation to attract competitive bids, including from non-MTR operators, according to Chen. Officials will start gauging developers' interest later this year, with bidding slated for 2027. Kun Ting-ya, Cable News.
Developers in the city have cast their votes of confidence in the development of the northern metropolis, with the pilot areas of large-scale land disposal drawing at least 12 expressions of interest before the deadline for submission at noon. Among those submitted their EOIs were New World Development and Chinacam Group. The 3 pilot areas under large-scale land disposal are located in the Hung Shui Kiu Ha-Tu New Development Area, the Fanling North New Development Area, and the Santin Technopole. Each pilot area covers private residential, industry, and public facility sites. Developers need to carry out site information and engineering infrastructure works for all the sites, retain the residential sites for development, and hand other sites back to the government for management after building some public facilities, such as roads and open space. The brochure of the invitation for EOI sets out a baseline scenario for each of the pilot areas with specific development requirements, facilitating companies interested to take part to voice their opinions. The government targets to commence the tendering work for the 3 pilot areas progressively from the second half of 2025 to 2026. U.S. President Donald Trump said he was very angry and pissed off at Russian President Vladimir Putin over Ukraine and threatened to levy tariffs on Moscow's oil exports if Russia blocked the Ukraine ceasefire deal. Anna Chen reports.
The abrupt shift in Trump's tone toward Russia came after Putin had tried to attack the legitimacy of Zelensky a few days ago, suggesting Ukraine could be placed under a temporary UN-led government to organize fresh elections before negotiating a peace deal, which could effectively push out Zelensky. In a phone interview with NBC News on Sunday, Trump said he was very angry and pissed off with Putin for attacking Zelensky's credibility and threatened to impose a 50% tariff on countries buying Russian oil if Putin did not agree to a truce within a month. Speaking on Air Force One on the same day, Trump again voiced anger at his Russian counterpart.
I was disappointed in a certain way. Some of the things that were said over the last day or two having to do with Zelensky, because when he considers Zelensky not credible, he's supposed to be making a deal with him, whether you like him or you don't like him. So I wasn't happy with that, but I think he's going to be good.
Nonetheless, Trump shifted some of his criticism to Zelensky, pointing out that Kyiv is trying to back out of the rare earth deal. If he does that, he's got some problems, big problems, added Trump. Anna Chen, Cable News.
Now, let's take a look at the stock market. The Hang Seng Index ended the day down 307 points. Top ADX stocks of the day. Tencent was down $12.50. Alibaba was down $3. BYD was down $14. Meituan was down $4.30. Foreign exchange against the Hong Kong dollar. Canadian dollar 5.41, Australian dollar 4.85. Retail sales in Hong Kong remain sluggish in February, dropping for 12 months in a row. According to the Census and Statistics Department, the value of total retail sales in February logged $29.4 billion, declining 13% over the same period last year, far worse than the market's anticipated drop of 6.9%. Taking together the first 2 months of the year, the reading saw a narrower decrease of 7.8% on a year-on-year basis. A government spokesman explained that the substantial decline in February is largely attributed to the Chinese New Year occurring early this year. Looking ahead, stimulus measures by the central government and the SAR government's proactive efforts are expected to lend a helping hand to the city's retail sector, despite facing challenges from the change in consumption patterns of consumers, he added. Onto the weather now. It will be cool with 1 or 2 light rain patches at first. Expect some sunny intervals during the day. The temperatures will range from 12 to 18 degrees and a few degrees lower in the new territories. Now let's take a look at the weather around the world. That's our news tonight. I'm Evelyn Bai. Thanks for watching and good night.